Begin with an update to a serious pedestrian accident in Sutton. One woman was life-flighted after being hit by a car. Police now say the driver of the car, Stacy Piercy, is facing charges, including assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Our Brittany Schaefer has the details of what led up to the incident.
A woman was airlifted to the hospital after she was hit by a car on West 2nd Street in Sutton. Police arrived on scene around 1 p.m. Wednesday after receiving multiple 911 calls.
There was multiple parties involved in an argument, which eventually stemmed into one of the parties getting run over by a motor vehicle that was trying to leave the scene.
She tried to do the right thing and leave.
Dwayne Scott is a friend of the driver. Scott says 3 women were trying to attack her.
She was just trying to get away. She'd had no choice. You know, 3 girls are going to pull you out of a car. I'd be taking off too.
A few neighbors we spoke to who didn't want to be on camera see the incident is shocking.
We never really have any trouble around Manchog. It's really quiet. I couldn't even believe that I even heard that any of this happened, because it is a quiet town and everybody's friends. Everybody knows everybody.
According to Scott, all involved in the altercation were neighbors.
I guess they just had a mutual falling out.
At this point, police are unaware if the driver deliberately hit the victim.
It's unknown at this point. It's under investigation, and we're currently interviewing witnesses.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Sutton police say a second woman was hit by the car. She was being treated at the hospital, and they say the driver, Piercy, was found by a police canine unit about a quarter mile from the scene. Well, the Worcester County District Attorney's Office confirms a woman has been found dead inside a Grafton home, and her husband is hospitalized after being discovered with a knife in his neck. It's an active investigation tonight, and it could lead to murder charges in this case. Our Jennifer Zarate has the latest, including how police were led to the Grafton home.
Police in Grafton are actively investigating the death of a 36-year-old mother. Worcester County District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. says police found her 5-year-old daughter on the side of the road Wednesday morning. Police say she appeared to be walking towards her preschool in her pajamas.
After speaking with her for about 10 or 15 minutes, they made a determination that she lived at 55 Worcester Street in Grafton.
Inside the home, police found 36-year-old Kelly Sugarman dead and the father of the child, Michael Sugarman, with a knife in his neck.
The medical examiner has accepted the case, and there will be an autopsy to determine the cause and manner of death of Mrs. Sugarman. The young girl was also brought to the hospital, to an area hospital. She was examined and later released.
The DA says the husband was treated at the scene for the knife wound and was taken to a local hospital where he's being held. The entire property was marked off with police tape. One neighbor who didn't want to go on camera says he is shocked by the news in what is an otherwise quiet neighborhood. He says the young family who recently moved in kept to themselves.
All was quiet, and then all of a sudden now here comes the action. Everything's going to turn around now. I mean, now the neighborhood's like, what's going on?
We don't know at this point what the girl did see and did not see. She did say to the police officers in the vehicle that Mommy is sleeping, Mommy is sick.
The district attorney says the 5-year-old is in state custody with the Department of Children and Family. He expects to file murder charges against the young girl's father, Michael Sugarman. He also says that at this time, the motive is unknown. In Grafton, Jennifer Zarate, Worcester News Tonight.
Firefighters are trying to determine what sparked a fire in Southbridge Wednesday. Crews responded to the 3-alarm blaze at 400 Tipton Rock Road shortly before 2:30 this afternoon. Dogs were inside the home and were rescued. The homeowner tells us the house is unlivable. Fire investigators were seen working at the home throughout the afternoon. The town of Charlton has reached a $30 million settlement with Exxon to improve water infrastructure and bring public water to areas that may have been contaminated by MTBE. The settlement comes after 20 years of contamination reports and testing between the town and Exxon. Years ago, MTBE levels were detected in the drinking water. Town officials say they're relieved a plan is in place to bring clean water to Charlton.
It was relief. People finally see something coming to an end. When I came here 10 years ago and asked the selectmen, what's the most important thing that needs to happen in Charlton, what they told me was public water. We need to get water here in Charlton. Dealing with Exxon has been very difficult. They're a large company. It's elusive, and it's difficult for us to get leverage. We're happy that we've been able to come to an agreement with them without having to go to litigation.
The town also sought the help of environmental activist Erin Brockovich, and her firm did give the town some suggestions. Well, at Bartlett High School, it was a day to celebrate one alum whose achievements are recognized at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Bartlett unveiling a display dedicated to Nellie Twardzik Thompson. The alum is recognized as the first woman to play on a men's high school baseball team. She also went on to play semi-pro baseball. Today's presentation included a video tribute. Family members of Nellie were also on hand today, and they say they are thrilled her story will live on at the high school.
Will amplify the proud and long athletic tradition here at Bartlett. My mother would be so proud. She wore her varsity letter, which is now on display in Cooperstown. She wore that letter on a sweater long after her Bartlett years were over. And I just hope that that same pride is in the young people today.
Well, a 13-year-old autistic boy stole the show at a local talent showcase in Shrewsbury. 13-year-old Jagger Lively, dressed as Olaf from the movie Frozen, he rocked the show with his rendition of the movie's hit, Let It Go. He started off strong, but towards the end, he started to stumble a bit. His mother says that's when the crowd joined in and helped him finish. She says to see the community help her son in a moment like that is one she won't forget.
These kids are very, very high functioning, where you would never even know. He doesn't happen to be that kid. He's somewhere in the middle of the spectrum, so he has a lot of challenges. So for him to do that was just huge, and for them to support him like that, again, it just, you know, it just melts your heart.
It was not his first time on stage. He has sung at other events and is scheduled to perform at the Autism Walk in Worcester at the end of the month. Pretty cool stuff. Well, a mock funeral was held Wednesday morning for the Mosaic Cultural Center. The center provided health care services to Black and Latino men, but in February, funding for the center stopped, and it is currently under investigation by the Attorney General's office due to suspicion of fraud. Today, as the building was being looked at by potential buyers, protesters spoke out.
Residents of Worcester are coming together to draw attention to the fact that as a community we're mourning the loss of a really valuable and unique community space in Worcester.
Not too long ago, a city audit was conducted and found there was no fraud, but indicated mismanagement. The city will not fund the center again until the Attorney General's investigation is complete. Almost 40,000 Verizon workers are on strike across several states on the East Coast, including thousands right here in Massachusetts. Arnie Madison caught up with the group picketing in Worcester today and has the latest.
As we were at the bargaining table, we said this has got to stop.
Verizon workers across New England off the job today and on strike over labor contracts for wireline operations.
The company says one thing and they turn around and do another. It's disappointing, but I'm not surprised whatsoever.
Higgins Street was one of many locations throughout the state. Union workers gathered starting at 6 a.m. Wednesday.
Nothing on call sharing. They didn't want to address our issues as far as
Union business manager David Keating says Verizon got greedy during contract talks and wanted to increase costs and move jobs out of the country.
This corporation makes $1.8 billion with a B a month. Do they need more? Do they need my members to dig deeper in their pockets to pay more for health care? Do they need to freeze their pensions? Do they need to send more work overseas? How much more money do they need to have?
In a statement, Verizon Chief Administrative Officer Mark Reed said, quote, "Since last June, we've worked diligently to try and reach agreements that would be good for our employees, good for our customers, and make the wireline business more successful now and in the future. Calling a strike benefits no one and brings us no closer to resolution." A large group was on Higgins Street Wednesday, but the union is planning to spread out across the city.
If the landline service goes out, those cell towers go out. I mean, we built the network. It's ours. We earned it. We have a right to this, and that's all we're asking for, is a fair share.
And union workers we spoke with say they'll picket as long as it takes.
I'm prepared to go the long haul, just as all my other brothers and sisters are.
Andy Madison, Worcester News.